Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy and this is Thrift Adventure. Today I'll be doing a ship with me video. In these videos I go day to day and I share the different items that I'm shipping out. I talk about what they sold for, how much I paid for them, and what my profit was. So you want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and hopefully you can learn some different types of things to keep your eyes out for when you're out thrifting. Also, there's typically 2 or 3 clips per video, so sometimes it'll look like the video is over, but keep watching because usually there's more to come. So let's get started. I only had sales on Poshmark this weekend. Wasn't really the greatest weekend, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and I'm just going to keep listing and try, and hopefully the rest of the week will be better. Okay, so the first item that sold is this cute vintage bracelet, and it is gold tone metal with carnelian stones in it, probably from the 1960s. I like to pick up vintage costume jewelry when it is affordable. I typically find my jewelry at estate sales and yard sales. One of our estate sale companies usually prices jewelry very, very affordably. And when they don't, typically they will have a dollar day or 50% off day, the last day of the sale. And I'll go back and get more jewelry if it was priced too high. So this was one of those pieces. I went back on dollar day and got it for $1. It ended up selling for $27. For these costume jewelry pieces, I've said it over and over again, but this is for the new people. You know, I try and keep my cost of goods under $3 because a lot of times it takes a while to sell and it doesn't sell for big money. Some of the certain brands, vintage brands, can sell for good prices, but in general, for items that are unbranded and just a costume jewelry piece, meaning that it is not precious metals, typically they sell in the, like $18 to $30 range. So like I said, this sold for $27. I paid $1 after posh fees and my cost of goods. That made my profit $20.60. A nice little profit. I'm not going to complain about that for a $1 investment. I do think that was listed for a little while, probably 8 months to a year. The next 2 items are belts, and they both sold very quickly. I was kind of surprised about this one, but it is this semi-vintage black leather belt, and it is actually it's marked Levi Strauss. Just, you can't really see it very well. But this sold in less than a week for $35. I had it listed for $39. Someone liked it, and I have my Posher VA set up to send out automatic 10% off offers with, I can't remember if I have it at $5.95 or $4.95 discounted shipping. And the buyer accepted. So I thought I really didn't expect it to sell for that much because it was pretty basic, but the buckle was kind of cool and unique. It was kind of a square rectangle shape and it was brass. So I paid just $1 for this at an estate sale after posh fees and my cost of goods. That made my profit $27. So you know what? Actually, I think maybe this one, I just had it priced at $35 because I don't think there was discounted shipping on that. Either way, $27 is a really great profit on a $1 investment, and especially it being a pretty quick sale. Let's see, let's get things organized here. And another belt sale. For those of you who are new to my channel, you will see if you keep watching that I sell tons of belts. I love selling belts. You should sell belts. Keep your eyes out for them. This is just a vintage black woven leather belt with a gold tone buckle. I picked this up at a yard sale, I believe. I only paid $1 for it. It also sold for $35. but this is the one that sold with discounted shipping. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $24.98. Really an amazing profit, if you ask me. And I think this just took a couple months or less to sell also, because it was at the top of my storage bin. I have had a couple of questions about how I store belts, and I have 2 laundry baskets and a bag. So one laundry basket has brown belts, the other one has black belts, and then the reusable bag has other colors. I have probably close to 100 belts listed. That method works just fine for me. I don't do any sort of QR codes or numbered bins. I'm not organized enough to do that. For me, it is just easier to have like items in the bin. So I have a women's sweater bin, a men's sweater bin, women's pants, men's pants, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, just to keep it easy. I keep most of my, let's see if we can twist this. There we go. So I keep most of my coats on these coats and dresses on those 3 rolling racks, just because I sell a lot of coats and they are so bulky that keeping them in bins just doesn't make sense for me. So I hope that is helpful for you guys. You don't have to have any sort of fancy system for things. Just do what works best for you. If you are more organized than I am, kudos to you. If it works better for you to do numbered or QR codes, by all means do it. This is just how I do it. Okay, so these just sold, and these sold in less than a week too. They're a pair of Keen water shoes. They did have a little bit of wear, but nothing major. Again, the same estate sale company that I've talked about. Most of the time they sell their shoes, purses, and clothes for $1 a piece. So I picked these up for $1 at that estate sale. I listed them for $39, and now there was a hair in that, so now I'm gonna need to untape this and make sure there's no hair, because that's just gross. So I listed them for $39 because they did have, you might not be able to see, but they had some kind of dirty marks and stuff. And I guess that was the right price to list them at, because they sold for full price in less than a week. And I like picking up these river shoes, even if they do have a little bit of wear, because sometimes people will go, you know, on a rafting trip, or someone will invite them out on their boat, and they don't want to spend the money to buy a brand new pair when they're just going to go out once, or, you know, once or twice a year. So a lot of people do buy these on the secondhand market. Okay, so I forgot to write down my profits on these, but they sold for full price for $39. I paid $1, so that would probably, after Posh fees, that would make my profit about $30 or $32, which is a great profit for a $1 investment. So that is it for today, but there will be a couple more clips. And if you enjoy these types of videos, I put out a ship with me video every week, and sometimes a bonus video. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. It's totally free. It really encourages me and it helps my channel grow. Also, if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, both those things also really help me out. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of days to share what else I sell. Hopefully I have some really exciting stuff to share. I'll see you then. Hey there, it's a couple days later and it's been pretty quiet, but I do have 3 things to ship out. And the first item I am wearing again, it is another pair of these vintage Christian Dior eyeglass frames. These ones are, let's see, can you see that? These ones are for the frames only. There is no lens. They are clearly marked Christian Dior on the inside, and they have this cool, well, the CD logo, and then also this cool kind of striped animal print marbleized on the sides. Another great sale. These sold for $90. I'm very excited. For those of you who are new to my channel, I bought a huge lot of 30 vintage eyeglass frames at an estate sale. Most of them were Christian Dior. There were a few that were other brands, but I paid $5 a piece for the frames. Also, some of them had the demo lenses in them, meaning they just had the clear glass lenses. It was the estate sale of an optometrist, and I was pretty nervous after I bought all 30 pairs because it was $150, but boy, has it been an amazing investment. I have made so much money on these eyeglass frames. I think I am over $1,000 in profit now, and I still have maybe about 10 pairs left. I cannot complain at all. Now, of course, I am keeping my eyes out for designer eyeglass frames. A very, very exciting sale. So like I said, they sold for $90. I paid $5. These sold with discounted shipping. So after Posh fees, my cost of goods, and the discounted shipping, that made my profit $64.98. I am thrilled with that. So definitely keep your eyes out for vintage designer sunglasses, of course, and eyeglass frames. So for all of these, I have shipped them in 3 layers of bubble wrap. I've put them in this 1096L box, which is slightly larger than the small flat rate box. And they have all arrived safely like that. So I have been extra careful. Let's see, I didn't quite need to seal that up, but I will. So I am just thrilled to sell another pair of those. The next item that sold is this vintage 80s, 90s denim fabric belt with these kind of conch detail. It is just a Velcro closure, and I thought this was really fun when I picked it up, but boy, it took forever to sell, over a year. I'm glad that I only paid $1 for it. And I definitely have not been picking up these fabric belts anymore because all of the ones that I picked up took a long time to sell. So this one did end up selling for $24 with discounted shipping. Like I said, I paid $1. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $16.18. Still a nice little profit for a $1 investment. And you know me, I love selling belts, so I am not going to complain about that, at all. Sorry, I'm kind of fumbling today. It's a little later in the day, so sorry if the lighting looks like I might be getting kind of blown out, but I had other things to do earlier today, so I just got the time to film this video. So the next item that sold is this great pair of men's cowboy boots. They're brown leather, and then they have this leather at the bottom. I think that it is just kind of a textured leather, but it could be some sort of exotic leather. I'm not certain. And these are by Nakona, but they're definitely vintage. You can tell by the tag. They ended up selling for $89 for full price. I was really excited to have that full price sale. I feel like, well, actually recently I have had a few more full price sales, but before that it seemed like full price sales had been few and far between. So it is nice to, you know, get a nice good amount for an item. Although I feel like most of the time I get really great prices for my items and really great return on my investment. So I am not going to complain at all, but it is just fun to sell something for full price when, you know, typically I price things with the anticipation that someone will make an offer or I'll send out an offer to like her. Okay, so let's see. They sold for $89. These were part of that huge haul that I got at that Western Rodeo Princess fundraiser, so I only paid $1.50 for these. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $69.70. I am thrilled with that. Only a few sales, but some really great profits on 2 of them. So I am going to be happy about that. So there should be one more clip. Hopefully I don't have another bad week. So far, it just has not been very good. Chairish has been really slow and I've been listing on there, so I'm not sure what's going on. But hopefully I have some big exciting sale to share with you in the next clip. So don't go anywhere. I will see you then. Hey there, it's a couple days later and I have a few more things to ship out, but it has continued to be a pretty slow week. It's kind of hard not to get discouraged, but every year this time of year, particularly in July, I get a little discouraged and feel like I don't have any good stuff for sale and I have bad taste and nobody wants to buy my stuff. I'm sure everybody goes through that from time to time when sales are slow, but I am trying to remind myself that this time of year is always slow for me and it always picks back up. I've been doing this for so many years. I know that, but I'm just hyper aware of it, I think, because I am totaling my sales every week now and really paying attention to that. Whereas before I started doing YouTube videos, I didn't do that on a weekly basis. So anyways, I'm going to be thankful for the sales that I do have and thankful that it is beautiful sunny weather out. So let's get started. The first item that sold is this pair of sterling silver clip-on earrings, and oops, I thought I was going to drop that. They have a little X mark on them, and these are by Taxco. Let's see if you can see. I don't think so, but they're stamped 925 Mexico, and then they have some other letters and numbers on the back. I believe Taxco the company is still in business. But actually, I don't know if it's a company or if it's just an area of Mexico where jewelry is made. Anyways, there's been jewelry being made there for years and years, I think since the 60s or 70s. Some of the Taxco artists can be very, very collectible and very expensive. Probably if you were to find a piece that was by one of the artists, you would probably know, because typically the design work is really spectacular and detailed or really unusual subject matter. The other basic pieces sell for okay amounts, but not always super high dollar amounts. So these ended up selling for $25, which is kind of in line with what I typically get for Taxco clip-on sterling silver earrings. Sometimes I get less, sometimes I get a little bit more, but when I see these at estate sales or yard sales for low prices, then I will pick them up. I only paid $1 for these, and they really weren't listed very long, maybe about a month. So that's a just fine turnaround time. I'm happy with that. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $19. Not too bad for a $1 investment. The next item that sold is a pair of Choco sandals. Now these are kids size. These took about a year to sell, so I don't know if I would pick up kids size again. When I picked them up, I didn't realize they were kids sizing. They're marked size 4, but the sale that I bought them from, the gal, all her shoes were size 6.5, 7. So I think these might work for a women's size 6.5 or 7 also. But because they were in fact children's size, I listed them under children's. So these ended up selling for $22. Not really that high of a price, but it seems like my Choco sandals aren't selling for quite as much as they used to. So maybe they're not quite as trendy as they were. I'm not sure. I paid $5 for these. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $10.58. Nothing to write home about, but I am happy that those sold because they had been sitting there for a year. So the next item is just this brown leather Max New York handbag. Now this brand makes really pretty and nice quality bags, but they just do not hold much resale value. So this ended up selling for $20, which seems kind of like a shame for a full leather bag. But I did look at comps, and that is in line with what these bags sell for used. And I did know that when I picked this up. I found it at the bins, and I just picked it up because it was in nice condition. It was kind of a trendy style and good quality. So I knew I wasn't going to get big money for it, but I kind of wanted to save it, make sure it didn't go to the landfill. So I paid about $2 for this. After Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $14. Let's see, I think that took a few months to sell, not a super long time. So I don't even want to say what my totals are this week. It's just really disappointing. But as I always promise you guys, I try and be real in these, or I want to be, you know, open and honest. So you guys, if you guys are, someone here is considering going full-time, you know that there are ebbs and flows with the sales in this business. And when you have great sales weeks and months, you need to know that you need to save that money for slow times. So my total sales this week were $406. My total cost of goods was only $19.50, so that's a really great ratio. And my total profit after Posh fees, my cost of goods, and any shipping discounts is $297.22. So those of you who have been watching, you know that I have a goal to have $1,000 in profit per week. That of course is just a goal, and that is nowhere near my goal, but it is what it is. I've been working hard. I'm still consistently listing items. I recently picked up quite a few pieces of mid-century furniture, so I'm going to be listing those on chairish.com and also for local pickup on Facebook Marketplace. So I don't sell much on Facebook Marketplace, only for local sales where they can come and pay cash and pick it up in person, because there are so many scams on there. I just don't really feel comfortable doing much on there. Although I do know a lot of people are pretty successful on Facebook Marketplace. So I hope you guys are having a great summer so far. I hope you'll stick with me. I'm sure you will. Even though my sales have been slow the last couple of weeks, I know for sure that they will turn around. I hope all of your sales are better than mine, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching.